All right, this is Elijah Waughs, and I will be explaining my 3D printing project. So I had never really done anything like this before. I hadn't ever dealt with the program, or I hadn't even ever really even thought about it. And Dink suggested it to me, and I thought, why not? So my first thing I built was pretty simple. I mean, it was basic use of shapes and blocks and some text. So I use this in 123D Design. Super easy. It's free. Just quick to learn. So this was my first project. Just add a basic shapes and blocks. I'll get more into the program later. So my next design that I never got to print was a robot. So I made this and I realized I needed to do something else. I needed to get some outside help because this wasn't working out. So what I did was I watched a lot of tutorials like um, like this one, and it would just drone on forever and ever about just I mean it took him 4 minutes to get one block set. I mean it's terrible. So I watched a lot of those, and I just figured out how to use shapes and how to sketch and things like that, which I'll get into later. So after I watched some tutorials, my designs got a little more detailed, a little more skilled, um, a lot of trial and error. I learned the laws of gravity. So with things like this arm right here, it would droop down because the printer couldn't print into space. So I had to work around that. And then finally, my final project, which doesn't look like much, but it was a lot. Within learning how to sketch. So this frame right here, I sketched this on the program. And then these shapes right here, just use of basic shapes and manipulation. And then right here is the use of font and text. So this is my final project. Now I'll get a little more into the program. This is 123D Design. It's a free software. So I'll show you. These are all the tools you can do. You can do different things like manipulate basic shapes, which I'll show you right here. These are some of your options. I'll just start with a cube. So you can move around by clicking with two fingers on your mouse and scrolling around like you would on a web page, or you can use this to move around, that kind of thing. Now, how you zoom is like you would scroll on a browser. So what you want to do is you click the shape so you can focus on it. Now you can either click a side, or you can click a corner or a top. So I'll show you different things you can do. So it'll give you this little drop down menu. And you can either tweak it, which would be like changing the side or shape or that kind of thing, or you can let's change this, or you can press or pull it so you can make it smaller, you can make it longer, that kind of thing, or you can shell it. So there you got a little, so it's hollow right there, if you can see that. So that's just kind of basic square, cube um, manipulation. So it's really easy to do. Now another thing you can do is like with a spear, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, that kind of thing. You can hollow it out. Now the thing that I came into late in the 3D printing project was that thing's called sketching. Now there are different types of lines you can make to sketch. I'll show you the straight line first. So you just click where you want to go, and then you just start making lines. And I'll just make a square right here. And what's cool about, oh, I didn't make that long enough. Now what's cool about these squares are you can do different things with them. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. But what I think is cool is you can extrude them. So you can make your own shape that you need to fit the certain project that you're making with this type of thing. Then you can even manipulate it from there. I can make it bigger, whatever you want to do. So that's something that's really cool. Now another thing with sketching is you can make curved lines. So you can make, so it starts off straight, but as soon as you click, it starts to curve. So you can make different shapes, and then you can also still extrude. Yeah, here we go. So that's something it's a really cool. It's a really cool feature, and you can still have the outside line too. Okay, so that is the basics of the basics of 123D design. Now I'll show you some of my projects. This was a keychain name tag that I made. Um, just kind of I watched a couple tutorials on how to make like a hole in your project, or how this is extruded right here. My text is extruded, kind of just a showing of detail, that kind of thing. This is one of my robots, just show of text, um, basic shape manipulation. It's another one, just font, more detail, basic shapes. Now, I had a lot of issues I had with my robots were they would fall apart on these underspots because they were just printed into thin air. So what I did was I printed my final robot on its back, so it built from the ground up. So it never had any pieces of it hanging off. So this one was a success. Now this is my final project again, which was a plane, and just they showing the use of sketching and shape manipulation and font. Alright, so I think that sums it up. I will have a link to this tutorial in my video. Thank you for watching.